In this video, we're going to look at how you can use Advocate to bring content and information together for sentencing mitigation in relation to a criminal matter. We will see how Advocate lets you make notes on the offence details and sentencing guidelines to form a presentation document that you can use in court. In this example, the defendant has pleaded guilty to the supply of drugs under Sections 4 and 4A of the Misuse of Drugs Act. We are going to use the interactive mitigation plea screens in Advocate to prepare the sentencing hearing in advance. This is ideal for you and will also benefit any junior advocates who you might be training, who may actually go and present this plea instead of you, because it's all here combined with your experience. Let us start by selecting a matter, and then we will access the mitigation screen via the Law button. When the Prepare Mitigation screen opens, you start by adding all of the individual offences that the defendant is facing sentence on. One of the really useful tools that Advocate offers is a digital edition of our Criminal Offences Handbook, which contains over 1,000 statutory and common law offences. You search this for each offence by clicking on Add a Charge. Here you are presented with a search box to enter a word for finding the offence. We are going to search for the offence possession of a controlled drug with intent to supply, so we'll try to cover most drug offences by typing the word drug into the box. We then scroll through the returned results and select the correct offence. We then select Record Charge. There is no limit to how many offences can be added where a defendant has multiple offences awaiting sentence. Now we can start building our mitigation for the offence. Click on the Prepare Mitigation button to access the screens in which you can see the offence details and the sentencing guidelines for building your plea. The first tab you see is Offence Details. This shows the statutory or common law definition, the enabling provision, and the maximum sentences on indictment and on summary trial, together with some guideline sentencing cases where appropriate. Under the guideline sentencing cases are fields to enter a client's instructions and the outcome at the end of a case. Anything entered here will be brought through onto the presentation document. This offence is covered by the Magistrates' Court sentencing guidelines. To access these, move on to the next tab, Steps 1 and 2, where we will start by considering the offence category. Your primary purpose on these screens is to prepare everything that you will say during the sentencing hearing, with an eye on the fact that it's possible that another advocate will take your place at the last minute if listing issues arise. We start by selecting an indication of the category of offence by checking the appropriate box. Your selection will highlight in blue for clarity. This, of course, is an experience called by you based partly on the class of drugs in this particular example. You make the appropriate selection by ticking the checkbox next to it, and it indicates a starting point for you to work with. Continue to the part of the screen which indicates factors that increase or decrease the seriousness of the offence. This is where you will work in more detail, adding notes as you go based on your instructions, guideline cases, and other factors that should be mentioned during the hearing by you. Again, these are interactive lists where you select the most appropriate items that will apply in this case. Tick each box that applies and add notes as appropriate. So, for example, if a seriousness factor includes that the offence was committed whilst on bail, tick that box. A text box will now appear under that selection. In there you can type details of the bail conditions and the circumstances of the offence. The text box will grow as you type, you're not restricted to a text length. Carry on working through each list until you have noted everything that needs to be dealt with during the hearing and what you intend to say about it. Finally, move to steps 3 to 8 and remind yourself of the other factors that may or may not apply in this case. There are offences that don't have any Magistrates' Court sentencing guidelines. For these offences, Advocate gives you the facility to enter factors indicating lesser harm, lower culpability, and those that reduce seriousness. Alongside these points, you can enter aggravating factors that do. That is in the Step 1 tab. In the Step 2 tab, you can enter your sentencing points that could indicate a reduction in sentence. So that is the outline in which you prepare your case for the court. Now you can export your notes to the presentation document. This opens in a window which resembles many of the tools that you get in word processing software such as Microsoft Word. The good thing here is that you don't need to have a version of Word installed to use it. You can see there is our document, including our notes which have been brought through. You can edit it before saving it to be worked on at another time, or to be printed off and be taken to court. Thank you for watching this video. You can see more videos by subscribing to the Advocate channel or by visiting the website ilawadvocate.co.uk.